Max Verstappen just dropped the biggest clue yet? About why this year's Red Bull might be way faster than anyone predicted. Not the media. Not the fans. Not even the other teams saw this coming. But behind closed doors in Barcelona, Verstappen found something inside the RB22 that completely changed the mood inside Red Bull's garage. A hidden detail. A breakthrough they were not supposed to find this early. Now, the entire paddock is on alert. Because if what Max said is true, then Red Bull might already have the fastest car of the season, before we've even reached Bahrain. And today, you're going to find out exactly what he discovered. Barcelona was supposed to be just a systems check. Nothing serious. No laptime wars. No big upgrades. Just 3 quiet days of data collection. But for Red Bull, it was more than that. Because this was the first time they were running the RB22 with the brand new Ford engine. No more Honda support. No more fallbacks. If this power unit failed, they had nothing to fall back on. And going into the test, even Verstappen was cautious. He said they expected problems. That the car might not even run the full session. It sounded like damage control. Like they were preparing us for disappointment. But then, the opposite happened. Verstappen stepped into the car on the final day. No photographers. No press conference. Just silence. And within minutes, he was running clean laps. Then more. And more. 10, 20, 30, until, by the end of the day, he'd completed 118. No flags. No failures. No early stoppages. And suddenly, the entire mood inside Red Bull flipped. Because they weren't expecting dominance. They were expecting damage. But what they got was control. And behind the scenes, they knew exactly what it meant. The weirdest part? Verstappen didn't sound surprised. Not after 1 lap. Not after 50. Not even after logging more distance in a single day. Then Aston Martin managed to cross the entire test. He came on the radio mid-session and said just one thing. Car feels okay. Really stable. That might sound normal. But for Max Verstappen? That's a green light. Because Max doesn't waste words when something works. He only complains when it doesn't. Later, in the press pen, off camera, but picked up by a few insiders, he gave a little more away. Honestly, it went a bit better than expected. We got through more than we thought we would. The base is already good. Now pause for a second. That phrase, the base is already good, that's not just a compliment. That's code. Inside Red Bull, that's how Verstappen signals to the engineers. That the car is doing exactly what he wants. It means no sudden snaps. No weird power surges. No software gremlins. It means trust. And for a brand new power unit, built from scratch, with 0 race mileage? That's insane. Especially considering what this engine had to handle. Double the electric power. New cooling systems. A completely revised ERS. Everyone expected lag. Overheating. Teething problems. But what did Max get? Stability. That's not normal. That's not preseason smoothness. That's a machine. Already syncing with its driver. Before the first race has even begun. And Verstappen knew it. That's why his tone was calm. That's why the garage was quiet. Not because they were playing it safe, but because they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Most teams showed up to Barcelona to survive. To find leaks. Test cooling. Check sensors. Pray the engine didn't explode after 30 laps. But Red Bull? They showed up with a plan. And it wasn't built last month. Or even last year. This plan started the moment they decided to leave Honda behind. The second they committed to building their own engine, with Ford, everyone thought that would slow them down. That taking over engine development would be a distraction. That it would split their resources, damage their reliability, risk their dominance. But here's what nobody expected. Red Bull didn't try to replace Honda. They tried to beat them. And in Barcelona? That effort showed up, loud and clear. Because the car didn't just run. It behaved. From the first lap, the RB22 delivered clean power. 0 oversteer. 0 unpredictable surges from the electric deployment. No cooldown laps. No erratic temperatures. Everything just worked. And that's not luck. That's not setup magic. That's integration. Red Bull didn't just bolt a new engine into the car. They built the engine around the car. And the car around Max. Even Ford's hybrid systems were adapted to Verstappen's driving style. Sharp initial throttle? It's there. Smooth exit torque? Also there. Energy deployment that waits, then punches? Right on cue. That's why the car looked calm. That's why Max never lost the rear, even on used tires. And that's why the laps kept piling up. Because this wasn't a test for Red Bull. This was a confirmation. A final systems check before Bahrain. A quiet nod that said, yes, the engine works. The balance is right. The driver's happy. And if that's true before the season even begins, then Red Bull isn't chasing anyone this year. They're already ahead. After 118 laps in a brand new car, with a brand new engine, Verstappen didn't celebrate. He didn't trash talk. He didn't drop bold predictions. He didn't even smile. He just nodded, shrugged, said the base was pretty good. And that silence? That's the problem. Because when Max is frustrated, he's loud. When he's unsure, he's short. But when he's confident, he says almost nothing. He saves it. That's exactly what we saw in Barcelona. Verstappen was holding back, and not just emotionally. Sources in the paddock confirmed what many suspected. Max never ran full engine power. No quali sims. No aggressive outlaps. No soft tire glory runs. Even during his cleanest laps, the RB22 was in limited deployment mode. No full ERS punch. No maximum fuel burn. No drag reduction tuning. And still, the balance was perfect. Still, the long runs were clean. Still, the tire wear was minimal. That's not just efficiency. That's control. And the more control Max has, the more dangerous he becomes. Because when Verstappen trusts the car underneath him, he stops managing. He stops guessing. And he starts attacking. He becomes surgical, precise, unstoppable. And Red Bull knows it. That's why they're hiding their pace. That's why they're keeping the maps quiet. That's why there are no fireworks. Because the moment they show their hand, the rest of the grid will panic. Ferrari will scramble to redesign. Mercedes will question their philosophy. McLaren will start chasing ghost sectors. But right now, they don't know what's coming. Because Max isn't saying much. He doesn't need to. The stopwatch will speak soon enough. And when it does, everyone will realize, Barcelona wasn't Red Bull playing catch-up. It was Red Bull playing chess. By now, most teams are still guessing. They're fine-tuning ride height, balancing cooling flow, fighting drag, fixing vibration issues. But Verstappen? He's done with that. Because while everyone else was collecting data, he was syncing with something deeper. The RB22 isn't just fast. It's ready. The chassis already responds like it's mid-season. The engine delivers power like it's been racing for a year. And Verstappen? He's driving like it's business as usual. No panic. No overcorrection. No mechanical sympathy. Just clean inputs, stable exits, and full trust. That's the real secret. It's not that Red Bull built a fast car. It's that they've built a fast car that feels familiar from day one. And that matters. Because Max doesn't waste time adapting. He doesn't need 5 races to understand the car. If it works, really works, he goes flat out immediately. Barcelona proved it. He never pushed to the limit. Never activated full deployment. And still, he didn't put a foot wrong. The RB22 listened, reacted, matched him corner for corner. That's not development. That's a driver and machine already operating in sync. And if that's what it looks like in January, by the time we hit Bahrain, it won't be a competition. It'll be a demonstration. Because the rest of the field is still figuring things out. And Verstappen? He's already gone. The lights haven't gone out. The first qualifying session hasn't even happened. And still, Max Verstappen has already spoken. Not with his words, but with his silence. Not with his lap times, but with his body language. His composure. His control. He's not chasing the car. He's not waiting for upgrades. He's not surviving preseason. He's already driving like a champion. And the RB22? It's not a prototype anymore. It's a finished product in preseason form. That's the part no one expected. While other teams are still testing limits, Red Bull has already set theirs. Verstappen didn't need to show his full speed. Because this wasn't about lap times. It was about sending a message. And that message? It's terrifying. Red Bull is not rebuilding. They're not recovering. They're reloading. With a new engine. A new partner. And the most dangerous driver in modern Formula One. Completely at peace behind the wheel. So if you thought last year was dominance, you might not be ready for this one. Because Verstappen just revealed why the Red Bull is way faster than expected. And the only thing more shocking? Is how much they're still hiding. If you want the full story when Bahrain hits, when the maps are unlocked, and when the masks come off, hit subscribe. Because the real speed? We haven't even seen it yet. And when we do, it's going to rewrite everything.